Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh on Sunday the 4th of February with FLOSSTUBE number 211. Welcome back to my weekly YouTube channel about counted cross stitch. This is a rare occasion for me. One bullet point, I restarted. I don't often restart my video, but I was so croaky. I'm still croaky, but it's very early, which on a Sunday morning, it's very early, which brings me to point 2B, second bullet point. It's not yet 8 a.m, so I've got stuff to get done today. I was awake. I need to pop to the supermarket to grab some bread. I need to pop to the market to grab a few things to supplement my veggie box that arrived on Friday. I need some onions and things, some alliums. So I thought I would get this recorded at least. I could edit it a little bit later. And before it gets too hot. It's cool right now, but it's very kind of slightly hazy, blue sky. I think it's going to burn off and be really warm. And because we had thunderstorms yesterday, with lots of rain, I suspect the humidity is gonna suck a little bit as the heat sucks the moisture out of the earth. So I predict this afternoon when I'm working, because that's the thing I need to do today, I'll have my aircon on probably in a blissful 18 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so working, it was end of month, and I'm a project manager and I've got to do finances and stuff. There's only so much I can do until actual end of month. People who work at end of month know there's only so much you can prepare for. And because tomorrow's Tuesday's a public holiday, Waitangi Day, everything's been brought forward. And then on Friday, which is the day I would typically have spent doing all of my end of month stuff, I had a PI planning day, which the people who planned that didn't think about end of month, did they? So I was in like a freaking workshop all bloody most of the day. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do a few hours today, probably this afternoon, because I feel like I'm not my best in the morning. And then I can just knock off a bit early tomorrow if it all pans out that way, just to make up for it. Have a slurp of tea to help my voice. So yeah, last week was my first full week in the office for the year, and that was hard work. And this week coming, of course, Tuesday is a public holiday. I'm not taking Monday off, end of month, but a lot of people are, so hopefully I can get really caught up on a lot of admin-y, paperworky stuff that I'm probably a bit behind on. And so yeah, get through tomorrow, Monday, and then it will feel like a 3-day week, which would be kind of nice. So Tuesday, I don't have any plans for Tuesday. Probably going to do bugger all on Waitangi Day. Today, a bit of work, carry on. I have made progress on the great craft room reorg. It's not finished because I worked 5 days last week, 3 of them in the office, but I'm making progress. And some of that progress means there's a pile of stuff on the spare bed that I need to decide how to store. It's things that I need very occasionally, but I do occasionally need them. They are specialist crafting things that I forked out a bunch of money over the years. And certainly some of it I couldn't replace because the products are no longer sold. But they're mostly for paper crafty stuff, but I just want to get them out of my main primary storage so that I can get the stuff off my floor into there. Anyway, making progress on that. Last week it was pretty dismal, but it's probably like, let's call it 50% done for now. But I did find a bunch of things that I'd misplaced, where I'd swept some stuff off the table to clear a space for people coming around. And I found all that, so that was really good. It's getting there, but I don't know. It's not as much fun as it could be. Quick update on Dad. He's okay. Same, still waiting to see someone about why he's getting these spasms. And the phone consult he had, they just prescribed him more of the same of what he had, which he's like, that it's not working. So yeah, apart from his ailments, Dad's had some help getting the house tidied up, ready for having a few people around for a cup of tea this coming weekend when he's having a little unveiling of Pam's little plaque where her ashes are interred at the local cemetery. I'm not going. I kind of forgot to ask for time off, and Dad's got the boys, my stepbrothers, are going to be there, and he's having, however many people around to the house afterwards for a cup of tea and some sandwiches and stuff. He's fine. He's got people around him, so I'd rather spend time with Dad later in the year when we can have a week together. So yeah, I should show you some stitching stuff. I did spend a little bit of money this week, following on from my video last week when I talked about the hashtag leap year sale, that we're, a bunch of us here in Kiwiland are going to kick off on the 29th of February, a 4-year long sale where people are picking a project to stitch on over 4 years with the intention of starting it or picking something that's been, I don't know, there's no rules really. If you've got something existing that you've ignored for like ages, then grab that out of your work pile. But many of us are starting a big project, or biggish for us, a project on the 29th of February, and with the intention of finishing it on/by the 29th of February 2028. We're in it for the long haul, and I talked about the Vittorio Zetchen chart that I'm going to start from Cross Stitch Collectibles and how I love his art and everything. And I talked about like a piece that Vivian Powers had done. I remembered I had a 50% coupon for his shop because I've shopped there before, and I had a welcome back kind of coupon thing. So for half price, I decided to get it just because I love it. And so this is, and I talked about this last week about a version of the one that I'm stitching. So the one that I'm going to stitch, the Women in Profile, is a portion of a larger piece called 1001 Nights, Arabian Nights, 1001 Nights. But this is actually on a different piece. So this is a very kind of graphic-y, you can see what it looks like, style, interpretation of another of his pieces, and it's hard to find. I've struggled to find a good copy of what the actual proper artwork looks like, but this is called Procession of Princesses, and I think it's something like that. It's I think it's related to the 1001 Nights. I think it's sort of the 12 Dancing Princesses or some blooming thing like that. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but anyway, I bought it because it was half price. And I'm kind of tempted to start it as well. I kind of think it'd be fun to have two similar projects, or like related but quite different projects for the 4 years. I don't have the fabric for this. Well, I do have a piece of that same Nougat 20 count Aida. It would mean on the short end, it would only be 1.5 inches. I mean, this is such saturated colour, but I think I might stitch this on 18 count. No, I'll do this on 20 count, but I might want a slightly bigger margin, 1.5 inches. I mean, 1.5 inches is fine, but I don't know. I'm thinking about stitching this as well. Like, why not stitch two projects? I don't know. This is smaller. This is only 81,000 stitches. Whereas the other one is 144,000, I think. Anyway, I bought it because I had the coupon and I'd been talking about it and I'd seen it and I'm like, why not just get it? So, half $5 or something. I don't remember what it was. And then, because no PDF can travel to your inbox on its own, no one ever said that. This is another one by Vivsters as well on Etsy that I have had tagged for ages. And when I was at our Wellington Regional Stitchy catch-up the other weekend, oh, who was I talking to? I've completely forgotten. We were talking about Vivsters charts. I was chatting with somebody. Hello, if it was you, say hi. About the Moroccan lanterns, and I've loved this for ages. So this is not full coverage. Well, it could be if you want to stitch about a ton of grey, but this is what I probably will stitch on 18 count. I don't know when I'll stitch this, but I just love Morocco. I went to Morocco in 2012, and I can't believe that's like nearly 12, well, 11 and a half years ago. Yeah, and the lanterns are this beautiful. So I've wanted to stitch this for ages. I don't know when I'll start that, but I probably will find a nice mid-tone grey fabric, maybe an over dye. I'll probably stitch this on linen or even weave. Maybe even weave just for shits and giggles, really. We shall see, but again, I had a 50% coupon. So it's not one I can share. It's one of those coupons that you get when you purchase through Etsy. Sometimes the seller says, hey, thanks for shopping. Next time, here's a returning deal. Similar with Modern Folk Embroidery. If you purchase a chart from Modern Folk Embroidery, Jacob said, here's a code you can use next time you come back to my shop. It's not 50%, but it's still a discount nonetheless. So it's always good to I keep a notes app on my phone where I keep all my discount codes. Half the time I forget to use them because I'm a muppet. Right. Getting back to that sale, there are no rules, so very few rules. No one cares. It's just all about having something, taking on a challenge that maybe you were nervous about, or putting something off, or you had something in your stash like me that women in profiles cut it up, ready to go, just to get it started. And there's so many people in our New Zealand cross stitch Facebook group. I went through yesterday and searched for the leap year and just went through and tried to like everyone's post. There are a bunch of full coverage, and there's a few people that have picked some huge projects, but other people are stitching on smaller things, looking at mirabilias that they've had in their stash for a while, which for them may be still quite a challenge, and a few people picking multiple projects, or little smaller related designs to stitch, like one a year or etc. So it's truly is just a really cool thing to do. I'm going to do my best to share it on Instagram. I suck at Instagram, but share my progress, and hopefully other people will as well. The hashtag leap year sale, and certainly it's open to everybody. It's not like just a Kiwi thing. It was just that that's, I think Zeb initiated it ages ago. My God, it's been I'm going to edit a bit out, but probably close to 12 minutes. I haven't shown you anything. But anyway, whatever. I'm really excited about it. Honestly, I'm so itching to start that bloody piece. And it's still 25 days away. It'll be fine, Leigh. So yeah, that's what's new in. I've got a high ponytail today, and my hair I didn't straighten it after I washed it, and it's very kinky. Okay, so should I show you my stitching? Sorry about the glare. I do have non-reflective lenses, but it's because I'm filming early, and that way is east, and there's a couple of windows, and the sun's coming through. I'm like, oh, that's right. Normally I film when the sun's over there, so it's not so bad. But anyway, on Sunday after I did my video, and I showed you my Moon Glow by Nora Corbett, that I'm stitching in a very loose sail with Jess from Little by Piku. Basically, she went, I'm going to start this, and I went, oh, me too. I think I said I wanted to at least finish her tuffet. And she's all called for, apart from the silk. So she's not all called for. She's on the called for Wilchelt linen, 32 count Mediterranean Sea, and I've substituted silks from stash. So my silks are going to look quite a bit different. But the beads and all that will be called for. And I talked about finishing her little tuffet, but then maybe putting it aside. Well, Jess has stitched ahead of me. She kind of got to the same point as me over the week, but she stitched ahead. So I'm like, maybe I will carry on. you know, sometimes I try and slow down when I'm on a sale because I stitch quickly and a lot of people don't stitch that fast. But Jess does. So maybe I'll carry on with it. But I'll probably put her away till next month and then pick her up. So that's where we got to. So we got all of her tuffet, I shouldn't say mount when it's like a hashtag embrace the folds naked lady on a thing. But anyway, I'm sorry. Her hillock, her flowery pillow, whatever she's sitting on. So my purples through here are quite a bit brighter. My pink is a little bit pinkier. I don't even know. My roses are a little bit rosier. So it's probably a little bit brighter than what they call for are. But I love it. So that's where her little feet are and her crouching down. I did put in the back stitching. There's a little bit of back stitching that will attach to some beads. So I've got all the pink back stitching in there. So essentially that's all done apart from beads. I won't bead until I've done the back stitching because there's nothing more annoying than back stitching and catching your back stitching on beads. But that felt like a lot of beads. So it was kind of cool to get her done. It wasn't terribly much stitching to get that. It was about maybe, I don't really care. It was like 2/5 of the hillock to do. So I think I got that done on Sunday evening just to get it finished off and get her ready to put away. And then because I'm starting, well at this stage 1, now maybe 2, full coverage pieces, I was like, Leigh, you need to pick up your other full coverage and give her some love. And she is much bigger than the one I'm going to start. How many is she? La 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 la. Oh, I don't know. Why doesn't it just tell me how many stitches? 300,000 stitches, I think, in this one. So I picked up my full coverage that I started ages ago, 2022. Heaven and Earth Design, my HAED Mystic Moments 1. This I do also have Mystic Moments 2, which is a little bit daunting. Oh yeah, I'm all about the naked ladies and boobies, aren't I? Boobs are fantastic. Why not? More boobies on the internet. I don't know. I have her companion piece, so it's a little bit daunting, but I do intend to stitch her as well. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, picture up. So she's just on. The artwork is by Linda Ravenscroft, shouted by HAED. She's on 20 count Aida. I had originally started her on the 1st of January 2022 on 22 count Hardanger, and just my stitches, and I have stitched on 22 count Hardanger before, cross stitch. I just couldn't get the stitches to lay nicely. It was just horrible and I hated it. So I stopped it within like 3 hours of starting. And then bought some 20, I went, screw it, 20 count Aida. I'm happy to stitch in hand and sewing method on that. So called for DMC, although I am substituting one colour, which you won't even be able to tell because this is not a mock-up, right? This is a scan of the artwork. The lightest, in this chart, on the lightest patches are actually charted as B5200. And on the companion piece, the lightest patches are charted for a sparkly Krenak. And I'm like, no. So both of them I'm swapping for like the lightest shade of cream. Although if there is white in like, I don't even know yet, but if there is white in like that urn or any white highlights within her, I'll do 5200. But in this background, there's no bright white, and the 5200 is going to look stark when it's a patch. So that's the one substitution I'm making on both charts, because I had a look and, yeah, chart number 2 has sparkle, chart number 1 has the 5200, and I'm like, it's weird, they're not the same. So other than that, I don't really care. The colour chart for both the 90 colours is like 88 of them are the same. I had barely stitched on her. I did do a little bit on her last year, I think, right at the beginning of the year, because I was like, I must stitch on her, and I wanted to get this to like, I think I'd aimed for like 10%, and I didn't. I got to like 8. So this week I've stitched 2,995 stitches, which is just shy of 1% on her. And so it's, yeah, this is on now, I think she's at 8.96% or something random like that. Like, there's a lot of stitches to get, obviously nearly 3,000 stitches to get to 1%. And I think it was just on like 8 point, so I don't know, you can do maths. So that's where it is. So I've stitched all over, like it's just filling through. I'm kind of pick a thread and stitch, pick a colour, the next colour that's empty, and then stitch that until you run out or get sick of it. So I have come up here a bit more, and just a lot of this dark area is new. There is a bug, I have stuffed it up somewhere, so I'm just sort of working around it and being a bit clever. In here, where is it? It doesn't matter, you don't really care. In here is wrong. This is all correct, and this is all correct. So I'm kind of stitching this way and then stitching this way. In here somewhere, I've either, like in here, where this piece here, I think, was somewhere, one of these rows was either, I can't remember now, one short, I think. So let's say this was meant to be 23 stitches and I stitched 22, and then I counted the rest of this section off of that, and then in here. It's sort of fine, as long as when I get to the, like, it's going to be kind of swallowed up by this really dark area here, so I'll be able to fix that. As long as this bottom line, so I'm kind of stitching to get that bottom line of her dress in, and then the rest of this I can absorb into this broken pavement kind of thing. But yeah, and it's like, it would be way too much to frog it, and it doesn't sort of matter. And I just dropped a whole lot of stuff on the floor. So I'm just cognizant that it's wrong, and just being really careful that I don't judge where I am off of here. So yeah, I mean, I'm using pattern keeper, but I just miscounted and then just went, oh yeah, one short, two longer, one short, didn't, count each row. It's fine. There's, if it was in the middle of her face and it meant her eye was like by her ear, then it would be a big deal, but just working around that. So I'm really surprised that that's like nearly 9%, because I feel like that's hardly anything, except I guess you look at, I don't know, I'm like, how can it be? If I look at this, I would have said, oh, I'm like 5% done, but I guess I'm right under there, but I have come up here a bit. I'm kind of, each time I work on her, I want to carry on with a bit of, like, when I do this juicy, bloody confetti bit, that I then, block a colour. Because the last thing I want to do is go, oh, I'll stitch all of that beigey background. It's kind of why the first few times I stitched on it, I just focused on getting as much background in as I could stand. Now that goes quite quick because there are quite big blocks of colour, and then this is, confetti, but boy, was it exciting to put some dark brown in. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. I felt good about it. Like, it's nearly at 10%. I'm so close to like 30,000 stitches. 30,500 stitches or something will be, 10%. And it's like, 10%, nearly finished. Nearly finished. But I felt good to get her out and just stitch away on her. It's just, I like all my stitching. It's just I have too much. And I want to do it all. So, whatever. Said every full coverage stitcher ever. But women in profile is half the size. Actually, she's under half the size. And this one would be about 35% of her or something. I'm not really sure. I made up that maths. Okay, this video is the most random maybe. But you love me how I am, right? So next up, is that right? Yes. Listen, yesterday I didn't do any housework. It was pissing down with rain, and it was gloomy and wind blowing a gale, and I didn't feel like it. So I did some laundry, and I like unpacked the dishwasher a bit. Did I get the vacuum cleaner out? No, I did not. I don't care. I was tired, and I wanted to sit on my ass and stitch and read a couple of books. So I picked up this one again. I can't remember who. Somebody has selected the longer version, the one with the full alphabets, this alphabet and this alphabet are full. They picked the longer version to stitch as their leap year sale project. So it's an example where a quite big sampler, but you know, for me, a very durable project. But for some people, this might be a challenge with the amount of time they have to stitch. So that's kind of really exciting. So someone's starting this in our New Zealand group. So Vivsters again. This is kind of what reminded me that I'm like, oh, I should check. And I had a coupon in my email. So this was one of my hashtag stash sampler starts back in August of last year. Antique Alphabet Band Sampler by Vivsters on Etsy. 35 count shortbread linen from Country Stitch. Using my own silks for, my own silk conversion. Apart from the white colour is a Tom and Lily, I think, because I didn't really have silk that was white enough, but I didn't want white. Anyway, I worked on this big bit. So everything above that pale blue line is new. Got that done yesterday. I think I started on Friday night. I did the outline of this kind of, what colour is it? It's a tealy colour band. So this kind of Celtic-y looking band, I did the outline on Friday night, and then I filled it in yesterday morning, and then went, well, while I've got the greens out, it's nice to get some other colour on it, because it's the first time we've had green on it, and got those 2 green pieces done, which was very exciting. It's quite a lot of stitching in that. I did, because I'm using pattern keeper for this, gosh, it was probably like about 2,500 stitches, I think. So yeah, it's this one here, and quite excited because there's so much colour, and some extra blues and things. So yeah, I'm really, really thrilled with that. So that was really nice to get that done. And this one now is on about, geez, I think I'm going to remember stuff and then I completely forget. It's not 40%, it might be like 30, it's over 35%, so it might be like 37 or something like that. It's so cool. So I'm quite keen to finish that motif before I put it away. So there's still quite a bit of stitching in there, so it might stay out and get a little bit of love this week, and that's probably going to get it close to maybe 45%. I went and had a look what else, and I'm like, oh, black sampler. So this is black sampler by Stitches Through the Years. It was a freebie design, and it's on 40 count parchment linen by Country Stitch, using Güttermann silk, just the little spool of Güttermann silk in the colour 000 black. And this was another no, it wasn't. This was black sampler November 2023 start. And I think for that one there I stitched on 4 projects that all had different kinds of black. So I had some overdye black on that little butterfly sampler. This was Güttermann silk. I stitched one project with anchor black, that's the Bronte sampler, and something else that had black. I can't remember. Anyway, when I put this away back in August, I had stitched the wrought by my hand and a little bit of that border and just that little border across there. So I hadn't done terribly a lot. Anyway, let's just show you the damn sampler. So everything above that squiggly line and most of these side borders is new, and I stitched that last night. And I'll show you the personalizations in a minute. First of all, let me just say, I can't count from a border. this thing and this thing are one stitch too far to the left, but it's fine, and I wasn't undoing it. This alphabet's correct because I didn't count off there, I counted off the border, but you can't tell that it's wrong. But I'm not. So where did I personalize it? I took out that squiggly thing and I put my initials in. So LAM. And they are similar to, but adapted from the alphabet that's on the chart. I wanted them to only be 1 X higher and lower than these little motifs. So each of those letters has had a row taken out of it. So the A, so basically just shrunk them down a little bit to fit them in. And then that floral motif is a little bit different. I moved it over 2 spaces, and then somehow when I was stitching here, somewhere in here it's messed up, so there's an extra, it doesn't really matter, but it's like 1 row higher and 1 row, this bit's actually only 1 row over because somewhere in here I've got an extra thing. I don't know, I made it work. And also I took out a bit of floral here, a bit of leaf. So I took out the leaf that's in here, and then by shifting it over, gave me a nice box that I could squiffle in. I just make up words. Nestle in 2024 into where that leaf would be. So that's why I moved it over too. So I just faffed around, pencil highlighter, onto the chart, and I am committed to getting this finished this year. To be fair, I might even just finish this week, and maybe the Vivsters one I won't pick that up again this week. One of these I'm going to either finish. I feel like this one I should just finish and get it done. It's so little. So anyway, that's my personalisation that I did. I enjoy faffing around with charts. So, and in my opinion, it looks like it was supposed to be there. But yeah, I really wanted to put the year in, and it was like, where can I put the year in? So it was just working that out. And the numbers are not the numbers that are on the chart. The numbers up here, which is a beautiful font, is just way too big. I couldn't fit that in anywhere. So I went to my Brenda Key Sampler Motif book and found a number that I liked. I wanted the 4 to be that kind of 4. I don't know, like, there's the other way of writing a 4, because the numbers on the other chart had the 4, and yeah, and I did change the 0 from the one that was in the book, so it made it an extra stitch wide so that it was justified with the 4. So anyway, I just, have fun. If you've never changed charts and things, just do it. Just have a go. Certainly, as I said, printing a chart out or photocopying the chart and getting a pencil and then a highlighter, and sometimes use a whiteout, whiteout roller thing just to, or a white paint pen just to faff around with it. And I enjoy that, and I'm really happy with it. So that was last night. It's quite a bit there, and I enjoy having. It's been fun working on all these different black samplers using different black materials, and just a variety really for no reason. You can't tell by looking at it, that was Güttermann silk. It was more just, having stitching a whole lot of black on a whole lot of projects isn't necessarily as exciting as it could be. So changing the materials. Did I stitch one using Flosh? I don't even remember now. Doesn't matter. Stitching with different materials can sometimes just be, I don't know, I like fibers and texture and colour and stitching, obviously. Phew, I have to edit quite a bit out of this because really wasn't that much to show. This video's gone on. So obviously I'm in I haven't talked to people since Friday kind of mood and needed to talk to somebody. I do need to get to the market because I don't want to, like, what if all the good onions go? That's not going to happen. So I'm going to wrap it up. Again, if you want to join in #LeapYearSal, start on the 29th of February. You've got a couple of weeks to find something. If you can find something in your stash, that's even more fantastic, right? If you've got something kitted up, or you've got a kit, or just a project that's been languishing, jump on the bandwagon. Who knows what next week will bring, but I'll be here, probably. Take care, and as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.